Hello, we are going to carry out a clutch replacement on this Peugeot 1.6 HDI 207. So if it's a job that you want to take on and you haven't done, or you just want to know a bit about it, we're going to go through them stages now. So this should show you the engine. So as you can see, this is what's installed. Before we carry out any work, I always do a diagnostic scan, just so I know any faults that are in the car before I even touch anything. So it's quite important to know what's in there. For obvious reasons, you want to know if you've caused a problem or if it's a problem that you've already had in the system. So as you can see, this car does have a lot of faults stored in it. So let's get into it. Let's see what we have to do to get this clutch replaced. So I've got the car on axle stands now. So before I just drive the car onto the little ramps, one thing to note is crack the wheels off before you get off the ground. Then I just jack the car up nice and high, and as you can see, 4 sets of axle stands. So I've got one main set and then another set to back it up. So as you can see here, again, obviously safety is priority underneath. Been working on the car, so to make sure you're all good. So that's how the car is resting. Wheels have been took off both sides. So first things is I've took the engine cover off. There was an air pipe that came off the turbo here and went round for the air intake to the turbo from the air filter. And then there was an air feed, cold air feed, that came out the scoop that has a little plastic with it in there. Went down to there and then around and into the airbox. So looking at them components, this is what it is. So that was the engine cover, that just pulls off. The air pipe from the airbox to the turbo, just 2 screws, so it should really show you there. The cold air feed to the airbox, this just pulled off, so done by a little rubber lug. The air intake with the little rivet. So what I've removed now is the battery and the battery box. So this is the battery holder. So this is just the cold air feed. So this has just been held on by the side of the box. There's 2 clips holding a bit of wire at the back, and again this was holding on the wiring here. So let's just unclip the wiring. 2 10mm through the box at the bottom, which are exposed when you move the battery. To get the battery out, it's just held in by some little retaining lugs here. So as you can see there, there's just clips, just have to lever them over as you pull up the battery. The battery comes straight out. Also the engine management control module, this was just held in by a little retaining clip here at the bottom. So that just literally just pulls straight up, so just press that out of the way. What that leaves then is the car looking like this. And as you can see now, starting to be able to see some of the bolts. So see one bolt there, got the earth, and again there is some bolts further down the side, so right underneath here. I'm not sure I'll be able to get them on camera. Also gear linkage mechanism, so we need to pop that off too. So I've got the gearbox out. I did have to just kind of crack on a bit with the jump, just to show you what I've done. So the lower arms were just held on by the one bolt that goes in there. It's a nut bolt. Pop that out. Then you can pop the lower board right out. Push the drive shaft out. So the drive shaft is here. So it's held on by a 36mm nut on the end. So that would be your nut there. So pop both of them drive shafts out. Slave goes through the side. About to pull the aircon pump down, so belts had to come off. So alternator's belt off, it's just a stretch belt, so just have to flick it off as I was turning the engine around. Then I had to loosen all this DPF, so just loosened the heat shield, loosened the top clamp at the very top just to get a little bit of movement on this DPF. But the reason that is just for this shield here, because as you can see here, I'm just going to try and get my torch. So there is a bolt that comes through there, so as you can see, just gives me enough room then just to slacken the bolt as I pull the box out. You can tell on one of these studs. Then as you can see, put the clutch on, so being able to just get the box, push it out the way, do the clutch, then I'll put it all back in a minute. Looking at the top of the engine, so a couple of things that have come off as well. So a couple of gearbox bolts, lower bolt, drive shaft, starter motor bolts. This bracket in the middle here goes across the front as well, so you got to remove that 218s. And as you can see there, there's another couple of bits that come off. So looking at the top, as you can see, so it's been pushed out of the way. So we should be able to just crack on, do what we need to do.